U.S. relations with Latin America had been deteriorating steadily in the decade before J.F. Kennedy entered the White House. Not surprisingly, Latin Americans resented these policies that were enforced during that era. President Kennedy was determined to improve relations with Latin America through peaceful economic cooperation and development, which would also inhibit the rise of communist-leading insurgents as Cuba's Fidel Castro. Kennedy called the Alliance for Progress a vast corporate effect unparalleled in magnitude and nobility for purpose to satisfy the basic needs of the Latin American people for homes, work, and land, health, and schools. Andrew.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I propose a 10-year, multi-billion-dollar plan designed to improve relations between the U.S. and Latin America. When I was elected into office, relations with Latin America were at an all-time low due to Latin America being disappointed in our support during World War II. This was because they thought we owed them something for them producing raw materials for us at a low price during the war. Out of spite for the U.S., Latin America was more inclined to convert to communism. Therefore, I pleaded with Congress to create an Alliance for Progress. This alliance was the request for funds from Congress to improve literacy, land use, industrial productivity, health, and education. The reason I stressed this program was because millions of men and women suffer from the daily degradations of hunger and poverty, and discontent was growing in Latin America. In response to my plea, Congress voted an initial grant of $500 million in May of 1961. During the next 10 years, billions were spent on this alliance and to send aid to Latin America. During these years, all of this money went towards projects in Latin America doing exactly what the alliance was intended to do. The alliance also helped to achieve the main goal of containing communism in Latin America by showing the wealth they could make in a capitalist system.
President John F. Kennedy created a multi-billion-dollar 10-year plan to help aid Latin America. This plan was in hopes of aiding Latin America with improving their literacy, land use, and of course promoting a better alliance within the United States of America and Latin America.
Yes, but Kennedy's main goal was to spread democracy throughout Latin America so they can kind of contain communism. But by the end of the Alliance for Progress, over 13 governments in Latin America had actually fallen under military rule.
So Kennedy's plan was to promote democracy, but obviously his intention throughout this whole program was to contain communism. And he wanted to make sure that the other countries did not turn into communist Cuba, and he was able to do so with this plan.
But how come workers from Nicaragua, their wages were set so low?
The money used for the Alliance for Progress, it had to be spread thin. I understand that their wages had to be set low, but these people probably wouldn't have had wages without the Alliance for Progress. Something that we also have to think about is that the Alliance for Progress had many factors to it. So for example, adult illiteracy was reduced significantly in these Latin American countries, and many countries were provided with textbooks and books for these adults to read and inform themselves and gain knowledge so that they could get out of those low wage jobs and move into the higher paying jobs with their education. John F. Kennedy did not believe in dictatorship. Instead, he pushed for a more democratic leadership style in these countries. Instead, he took the experiences of Eastern Europe, the Wall of Berlin, and the Wall of China to show and shine light on the fact that economy and liberty go hand in hand. John F. Kennedy helped influence Puerto Rico in outvoting their communist rulers, and they implemented more of a democratic rule in their government.
Although I do agree with Kennedy's initial foundation for the program, it just didn't seem to work out very well for Latin America due to the fact that so many countries just fell under dictatorship during the time, even though John F. Kennedy was against this idea, and that was ultimately what he was trying to help them with. So the fact that so many just fell under the influence, fell under dictatorship, just kind of showed that overall the program was a failure.
I agree with that. The program definitely could have had a more beneficial outcome, definitely, yes. But unfortunately, President John F. Kennedy died in the middle of the program, and the program wasn't implemented the way he wanted it to, or he planned for it to be implemented. I do believe that a lot of countries did remove themselves, or definitely they contained themselves from pursuing a more communist regime in their country. But like I said, it could have definitely been a lot better. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. And
Thank you
for watching.
I propose a 10-year
The program was called the Alliance for Progress, and it was designed to improve the relations with the United States and Latin America. John F. Kennedy.
How are you? I know your name now.
Wait, follow me though. In requesting funds in Congress, the
Hello, my name is Dante Moore, and I'm against Kennedy's Alliance for Progress.
Why?
Oh, because I thought we were just saying it again. Okay, so we're actually just alright.